Hi beautiful soul, it's Jazz and welcome to Life by Jazz. For first time viewers, this channel is all about personal, professional, and spiritual growth. And for returning subscribers, welcome back. It's so good to see you. In this video, I wanted to share with you guys my webinar that I have been hosting all throughout the month of January. In one of my very first videos in 2017, I shared my goals, and one of my biggest goals here is to build a successful online business. And I'm really passionate about sharing the power of branding yourself with video here online. And so last year, if you told me like to host a webinar, I would have been like, no one watches webinars. But then I actually was in a few webinars at the end of 2016 that really changed my whole perception of webinars because I got so much value from it. I started implementing a lot of the stuff that I learned in these webinars, and it completely changed my life. So I was like, I need to start doing this. I need to start sharing on a really deep level what I know about how to make money with videos, how to really brand yourself and create something that's exciting to you and exciting to offer to other people, and create videos that actually mean business. So I'm going to share my whole webinar here with you guys, and I'm so excited to share that from my very first webinar, there are actually people signing on to this program, onto my Launch Your Video Brand program. I already have 3 people signed up, and there's only really a few spots left, but I'm excited to work with these people because they inspire me. I know that I have a lot to offer, and I know that we're gonna create magic together. This stuff works. It's already working because people are finding me through video, whether it's through my webinar or through YouTube. One of the people in the program found me here on YouTube. Her name is Jen. She has a dope channel. You have to check it out. She just started it, and it's all about personal development from her beautiful perspective. I'm going to include her link below. Please check it out. So I would love to know what your thoughts are on this webinar. I'm going to include it right after here. What do you want to actually get out of video when you put yourself out there? I know for me, the main thing was having a return on the investment of the time, money, and energy that I put into the videos, because at the end of the day, it does take those 3 things, and I wanted to feel creatively fulfilled as an artist creating these videos. I wanted to feel like my story was being told, and I also wanted to know that I was making an investment that's sustainably, financially, so that I could continue to make more videos. And that's what I share here in this webinar. I'm so excited because the Launch Your Video Brand program is just around the corner. We only have a few spots left. And if this is something that you are interested in, like you know that you want to start putting your time, money, and energy in the direction that actually counts and matters, so that you're actually making money, you're serving people that you really want to serve, and you know that your time, money, and energy is going towards videos that mean business, message me. I'd love to get on a call with you and talk to you more about what working with me one-on-one looks like, and get clear for you, because I know what it's like. I have a coach myself, and I've been a part of other coaching programs, and it really, really helps to get on the phone and talk with that coach one-on-one to know if that program is for you or not. So it's been a pleasure. I will see you guys next week. I'm excited for all the other videos I've been filming this week, and I can't wait to share them with you. Namaste, Ashe, that means good vibes, good energy, and blessings to you.
Good morning, and I'm so excited that you guys are here, because what I'm going to be teaching today in this webinar is really going to change the way that you spend your time, money, and energy creating videos. What I'm really passionate about as far as launching your brand is having a real return on the time, money, and energy you put into videos. And for me, the best confirmation that I'm getting some sort of return is, again, monetizing, getting some sort of money. But again, you can get that return in so many different ways when it comes to making video. And that is, you know, building your community, building your brand, and again, creating an offering that's super exciting for you and for the people that you're going to be presenting it to. So let's just jump right in here. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And again, this webinar is going to move pretty fast because That's the way that I roll. And I know that all of our time is so important here. So I'm also going to be doing some calls to action. I'm going to ask you guys to answer questions, and that energy is really going to help us all move past this really, really fast and get us to actually take what we're learning here and use it and apply it in our real life right away. So welcome to Launch Your Video Brand. We're going to be talking about how to actually make videos that mean business. So we're not just creating it for fun anymore. We're doing it for both. We're doing it for our creative fulfillment, and we're also doing it to really build a brand, build a business, so that we can continue to create sustainable videos. Because I feel like everyone on here definitely has created videos before, and we all know that the effort it takes. So again, these are videos that mean business. This is for coaches, bloggers, personal brands, and I'm throwing in network marketers there because network marketers, I feel, are one of the most passionate, affiliate marketers out there. They really know how to get involved with social media. So let's just take a second to just cheers to 2017. I know January is almost over, but this is seriously, this could be the year that you actually make money with online video. So, take that moment and just let that sink in, and let's just celebrate 2017, because 2016, I don't know about you, 2016 was a lot of learning curve and experimenting for me. And now I have a lot of the foundation, and I want to share that with you guys. So welcome. My name is Jazz, and I'm also known online as Life by Jazz. Just some context of what I'm teaching from. I have 8 years of video marketing experience, working with brands like Tony and Guy. I worked for them for a while, and then I've done freelance for Sephora. And right now I work with Beachbody. I do a lot of video marketing, Facebook Live, and I was a serial blogger for the longest time. A lot of people don't know this, but I've had 5 blogs before Life by Jazz, and Life by Jazz just stuck. We're going to talk about why it stuck. But the reason why I share this, I have a YouTube channel with over 10,000 subscribers and a pretty engaged community online, is not because I want to share it with you like, look at me. It really is because I am just an ordinary person, girl, who just practiced a lot, and invested a lot to really get where I am. And I want to share that with you guys. Like, I have nothing to hide here. I want to share everything I know with you, because I want to shorten that learning curve for you, because I know how much I felt like that learning curve was huge for me. And I want to just shorten that for you and share it with you today. So video used to freak me out. I remember the first video that I shot, I had someone helping me, and it literally took me 60 shots. I was doing a Kickstarter for not even the Mantra Candle. I was doing a Kickstarter way back when to go to this entrepreneur conference in Thailand, and my friend helped me shoot it. So again, I've literally knocked over cameras. I've cried so many times in front of the camera by myself. And I had so much resistance to it. So I just want to ask you, why can't this be you? If this was me, like, I promise you, like, anyone can do it if I can do it. So I believe this can be you, and you're already on the right track. A lot of you guys have been in front of the camera before, so, you are light years ahead of where I was when I started. Even though I had some of the technical know-how, I didn't have the interpersonal know-how, and I didn't have, the courage to get in front of the camera for years. And finally, I got in front of the camera. So this is you time. This is your business time. And again, your business depends on it. So I just want to take a stand here for all of our time invested. I know what it's like, because I've been on webinars before, and I've been on my phone, or, I've tried to do a lot of different things while on a webinar, and the information doesn't sink in. It's really, really, really difficult. And I know that we all have distractions in our life. So I just want to invite you guys to turn off all distractions, for the next 30 to 40 minutes. We're going to be really going deep, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of really actionable items. And so I don't want you to miss it. So I want you to be also open to learning. A lot of you guys are really have mastered a lot of particular parts of video creation, but I want to invite you to ask yourself, how can I take it to that next level of mastery and really be able to let it sink in? And also, like, how could I teach this to others if that's something that you want to do? So what we're going to cover here is the 3 biggest mistakes that most people make with video when it comes to branded video. We're going to go over video mindset and how to really move past fear into funds. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how to launch your video brand right now. We're going to be going over all 3 of these at the same time. So I'm going to do a check-in here. Which one of these 3 things that we're going to cover are you really looking forward to and are going to is most important to you, so that I know, which topics to really focus on more. We're going to go over all of it, but I also wanted to do a check-in. So let me know which one of these interests you the most, the biggest mistakes, the video mindset, or actually how to launch your video brand right now. Okay. And then we're going to do a Q&A. So moving forward, just to cover, what is video branding? Because branding is, an elusive word. A lot of people use it and describe it in a lot of different ways. But for me, video branding is the way that you express who you are to the world with video. It's how you offer your insight, your skills, and your products to the world using video. So the difference between just creating videos and actually video branding, again, is this idea that you're offering your insight, your skills, and some sort of way to work with you or buy your product to the world using video. And so these are some examples here. I've done interviews with YouTubers, other content creators. I have a promotional video on my homepage. I post videos to Facebook and I post videos to Instagram. So these are all different ways that I express who I am and share my skills, my product, and my insight to people who connect with me online. So learning video can change the course of your entire business and your life. I know that might sound dramatic for some people, but if we have a business or if you have the desire to have a brand, it is your life. It becomes your life because it's your resource. It's the way that you intend on building and designing your life. So here are just some statistics about video. I am going to go past these pretty fast because I feel like we all know how important it is. But 90% of users say that seeing a video about a product or service is helpful in their decision-making process. I don't know about you, but I pretty much watch videos before I buy anything, whether it's on Amazon or whether it's a coaching service. Like, I need to see the person's face and I need to hear their voice and really understand what they're about before I invest in whatever it is. It doesn't matter if it's a $10 book on Amazon or, a $5,000 coaching program. Like, I need to be able to see that. And that's really because, we are savvy purchasers nowadays. We don't just spend our money on whatever. We really care about where we put our money. And so according to Forbes, 59% of executives would rather watch video than read text. And this is not just like a convenience thing. This is about like, I want to know who you are. And video does that by allowing you to connect with people on an emotional level, because you can hear what they sound like, you can see who they are, and you can really learn about them and actually be connected to them rather than just reading text. Again, if you have a high ticket item online that you're selling and you want someone to work with you, you need that emotional connection, and video is going to do that. So including a video on your homepage can increase your conversion rates by 20% or more. So this is also for people who don't even have a product. A lot of people read this quote and they're like, oh, I don't have a product right now. It doesn't matter. You want to convert people into your community, and having a video on your homepage and having real estate by having a website in the first place is huge. So video can do that, and it can increase your conversion rates by 20% or more. So I want you to take a moment and close your eyes and envision, like, what would it look like to you to have videos out there that accurately express who you really are, that you feel confident about, and that you know is actually a powerful calling card to working with you. So you can just envision that in the quietness of your heart. But I really want you to take that time and close your eyes. And ask yourself, what is that worth to you? You know, is it worth your time learning it? Is it worth the energy, emotional or physical energy of you actually doing it? Is it worth your money? So I knew, I'm going to move on. I knew all of these things, but I still lived in resistance to video. I knew that it could make me money. I knew that it was the best way to build your brand. I knew that it was the key, but I had so much resistance, and I kept repeating mistakes that kept me from seeing results for years, and it caused me a lot of pain. So I want to ask you, like, is this you? My first mistake that I kept making over and over was just spending time, money, and energy on things that just didn't matter. And we all do this. We all do this with not just video. We do this with other things in our life and in our business. But for me and video, I kept pouring my time, money, and energy on things that were not helping me. And I was going around in circles. So I'm going to go over the things that I realized just don't matter. And then I'm going to tell you, what actually matters based off my experience. So what doesn't matter here is spending hours editing videos every week, unless you learn to love it like I have. And I'm just going to be really honest here. It took me a while to love it. It took me years to love it. It doesn't need to take you that, because everyone has different interests. But for me, I was just finding myself editing all the time, and I didn't even like it. And that is not important. What's really important is being visible with video wherever you can. And the beautiful thing is you can do this in so many different ways nowadays. You don't need to be producing all these like high quality videos, when what's really most important here is being visible and letting people know that you exist and that you have something really exciting to offer the world. So what doesn't matter here also is focusing on how many views or followers you get from each video, and constantly comparing yourself to others. This is natural, so I'm not going to just like rip you apart for that, because I ripped myself apart for it for years, and I still do. This is something that I practice every day, is how can I just not focus on views and followers and comparing myself to others, because what really matters here, what does matter on the other side here, is being of service and asking people what they actually want to hear from you and learn from you. I, for a while, was just pushing out all this stuff, all this content around things that, I was personally passionate about and what I thought other people wanted to hear. But then people kept asking me questions. And for a while, like I didn't even really think much of the questions, but it became so apparent to me that I wasn't focusing on the right stuff. I wasn't serving the people. I wasn't being helpful. I was just, in a way, being what author Austin Kleon says, human spam, which is just like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And that's where that discomfort comes from when it comes to self-promoting. It's like, if you're just putting stuff out there for you and not actually asking how you can be of service, that's why you're feeling uncomfortable. If you're actually being of service, then self-promoting, quote unquote self-promoting, won't feel uncomfortable, because you know that's actually what people want to hear and you're being of help and you're being of service. So another thing that doesn't matter here is buying all the best camera gear. I speak to this again from experience because I thought that having all the best gear was going to make me a better videographer. And the hint here is that it doesn't make you better at video. Once you get all the expensive gear, you still have to learn it. And so what really does matter here is practicing and perfecting your message so that you connect with your viewers. This really dissolves that need to have the best camera gear, because when it comes down to it, you can have the best camera gear, but if you don't actually like know what your message is and you don't know how to deliver it and you don't connect with viewers, then it really doesn't matter how crisp and clear your face is. I'm laughing because you know, again, I did this forever and I was like, whoa, I look so good, but like I had no idea what I was saying and it was really confusing people. So again, practicing that. And the beautiful thing about that is that it's free. You know, it costs you time and energy and money if you invest in mentoring. But at the end of the day, no one can take that away from you because it's something that you have for yourself, that you know, that you use. And then another thing that doesn't matter here are the haters, right? The trolls and the voice in your head that tells you that you're just not good enough. We all experience this, and this is a natural part of creation and creativity is that ego that tells you that you're not good enough. So how do you, again, focus on what matters? Well, what does matter, again, are the people who need to hear a message. And there's always people out there who need to hear a message. They're not only needing to hear a message, but they really need to work with you in order to change their life, in order to transform the way that they're feeling, whether it's that they're not happy with the way that they express themselves through dance, or maybe they're not happy with their body image, whatever it is, whatever you have to offer your insight to people. There are people who desperately need to hear this. And so you don't want to do them a disservice and focus on everything else that doesn't matter, because you then don't get to put these people ahead and grow. So a couple of other things that just don't matter here are stressing over having the flashy graphics. You know, what's most important here is having a strong title and including the thumbnail, because that is really the first thing that people are going to see. And it's how Google is also going to find your video. This is how my first client found me, is through a strong title that she found on Google. And then, you know, she watched more of my videos and we connected through that. So it wasn't a flashy graphic. It was really being able to be picked up by Google and having that strong title. Also some things that don't matter here are sounding like an expert. For a while, I was just so focused on like, how can I just sound professional? Or I kept telling myself, I don't have anything to share. I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert at what I do. It's not about being an expert at all, because we're all in different phases of learning. Even the experts are learning from teachers. You know, if you consider yourself an expert and a professional and you don't have anything to learn, then you probably, you know, you aren't growing. So what does matter here is connecting with your viewer and speaking your viewer's language, so they're not guessing about what you're talking about, but they can actually resonate. You know, you're a human being and you have a lot to share. Everyone has a lot to share. And again, it's not about being an expert. It's really about service. So another thing that doesn't matter here is if no one buys or if no one watches, because the truth is that people actually do see you. Analytics are off like a lot of times. There'll be times where it like literally says no views, and then someone will ask me, oh yeah, like what, you know, like what are you offering again? Or because they did see it. Maybe they won't see the whole thing at the time, but people see it. And you do build brand equity every single time you put yourself out there. For people who are just learning this term brand equity, it really just means like you're building a foundation for your brand every single time you put yourself out there. So it's an investment and it counts. So what does matter here is making an offer so that everyone has an opportunity to work with you. And everyone has an offering of some sort, whether it's your insight, whether it's your product, whether it's your service. We're going to be going over offerings later on in the webinar, so don't worry about that. But a lot of times people just don't make an offering, and that really matters. It's an invitation. Again, it's we're not selling things, we're inviting people to connect with us and actually change. So here's the first mind shift I want you to consider. Again, I was in a lot of fear when I first started creating videos. I wasn't able to make videos that actually that actually meant business, because I had this fear mindset that video just takes so much time that I don't have. So I was like, oh, it's so much learning, producing, like I have so many other things. I have a full-time job. I have to teach class. I have to market myself on social media. I don't have time for video. And that was seriously what kept me from just not creating. So the mindset that I practice every day in meditation and in prayer here is that the mindset of funds. So the mindset here is there are more ways to create video than ever. There really are. The barrier to entry for video is the lowest it's ever been, and it's only going to get lower. And what I mean by that is you can create video on Facebook Live, you can create video on your phone. There's so many different ways. When I first started working as a production assistant like 8 years ago, and it was for YouTube, or like, you know, creating YouTube videos, it would take us hours, like up to 8 hours to produce a video and put it on YouTube. You can obviously do that again today. It depends on what you're creating, but that's not the only way to create video nowadays and get seen, you know? So the other thing is the opportunity here is greater than ever. People are consuming video and they really need your help, especially here in America. People are Googling and wanting to learn, how can they be happier? How can they make more money? How can they actually share what they have and make an impact in the world? Because they're really seeing how not standing up for what they want is going to create someone else's vision in place of theirs. So again, this is the shift from fear to funds. And this is the first one. We're going to be going over 3. So, whoops. All right. So master the list that matters and nothing more. Okay, here is our first tip for titles. Start with a title and work backwards. So what do I mean by this? You want to have a very clear idea of what you're going to end up titling the video that you create before you actually start shooting or editing or going on live or whatever. You want to have the title, and that's because that's the first thing that people are going to see. And if you start shooting without having the title in mind, then you're actually working backwards. You want to start with a title and work backwards. That way you have a clear idea of what you need to get, what you need to shoot, what you need to talk about. And you want to focus a lot on making sure that title actually captures people. So here are the 3 C's to create a really powerful title that gets people to watch. Be clear. You know, don't be overly creative. It's awesome to be creative, but when it comes to communicating your title and what your video is about, you don't want to leave people guessing in the sense of like, what is she talking about? You want to leave them curious. That's the second thing. You want to give them enough and be clear, but you also want to leave them curious enough to want to watch more. So a few words that really help me here, and I'm just going to go to the second screen to show you, are how. Another term is this or that or what it's like. These are ways to leave the viewer curious. So how to make a vision board without photos. That leaves the viewer curious to wonder, well, why is it without photos? Or, you know, and how do you make this vision board that has no photos? It really is where I spend most of my time actually strategizing, is here in the title. I rework a lot of my titles over and over, you know, maybe a quarter if I can monthly. And I do see that the closer I get to the right title, the more videos I get. So again, we're going to be going deeper into this. And I do talk about the keyword tool in my Facebook Live videos, but I just wanted to share these are some examples of how to write titles that actually work and that are effective. So lastly, you want to captivate people. And what that really means is you want to resonate with your viewer. You want to know exactly who you're talking to and no one more. And the reason why is not to exclude other people, but it really is to get into your ideal viewer's head so that they actually think that you're like in their head. I love it when I see things that creep me out, I'd like to say, on online. I'm like, oh my God, that person like totally overheard me. It's not necessarily that someone overheard you, it's that they really know who they want to talk to and that person is you. So it's really refining and getting down to like, who is it that you want to talk to? Okay. So these are some examples. Again, you can use this formula for your captions on Facebook or Instagram. It's not just for your titles. So you can see these 3 weird things happened to me when I reached 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So again, it has the 3 elements. It's clear, it keeps people curious, and it captivates because I'm talking to people who actually want to know about video and how to do video better. So the reason why I can say this confidently, that I believe in your video potential, is really because this was me. I was just so, and I still am constantly learning about video, but I was struggling and in resistance to so much of allowing video to help me to use what I actually know. And there's really nothing more special about me. I just practice a lot and I'm really dedicated to figuring things out. I believe that you are the same way, because you wouldn't be on this webinar learning and practicing and dedicated to figuring out what you need for video. So you are on the right track. And I want to support you in any way. So again, my video mistake number 2 here is I was just overcomplicating the message and the process. I put hashtag guru talk here because I just wanted to sound like a guru. Like I just wanted to be, I'm the video guru. I know everything. But what that really does is it like disconnects people, because people feel like, oh, well, she's a guru. I can't be like her. And then I was again overcomplicating the message, talking like a guru in ways that people didn't understand. I was overcomplicating things. I was also undervaluing what I know and if it was actually worth sharing in video. And this was, again, I was like, kept coming up with these ideas that were too complicated. And I was like, but I need to share that, or I need to share this. But at the end of the day, people just want the basics, and they're going to get a lot from the basics. So never undervalue what you know, because a lot of times it's exactly what people need to hear. So the problem with being ridiculously good at what you do is that it's often a challenge to simplify. So if you have a pen and paper near you, I really want you to just write down simplify. That is huge for me. So if you're out there, please let me know here. Is it challenging? Do you feel like it's a challenge for you to simplify? Okay. I love hearing your comments. It really helps to, again, deliver what I need to deliver to you. The reason why this is live is because I really want to be able to answer questions. So if you have any specific questions when it comes to any of these things, please let me know. I'm looking at the chat box right now and I'm going to be answering. So here's an easy to remember TKO method that I came up with to really give you guys a checklist of like the elements that you need in a video. So if you go to make a video and you just put it out, a lot of times, like I mentioned on Facebook, it feels like a piñata, like you're hitting a piñata. You don't actually know like, oh, what am I gonna get from this? Well, when I started to implement these 3 things in every single one of my videos, it really allowed me to feel, first of all, more confident in what I was creating. And it didn't feel so much like hitting a piñata, because covering these 3 steps really allows you to approach your videos with more strategy. And you can actually expect to get some sort of result at the end, and I'm going to go over why. So the first thing we went over, which is title. You want to start with the title. The second thing is you want to have a keynote, and we kind of went over this too, is you want to keep it simple. And writing these 3 things down before you create anything is also going to help you be more strategic with your time in creating videos that actually give you some sort of return. So lastly, O stands for offer, and this is really what allows you to have more strategy and allow yourself to expect, some sort of result on the other end. And this means ending with your best offer. This is what most people who first start out with video, or people who are not getting results with video, forget. They don't have some sort of offering. Okay, we have some comments here. Let's read them. Whew, okay. Okay, yeah. Amelia says, my imagination is so crazy. I feel like everything needs to be amazing, and I tend to include all my ideas in a video instead of just focusing on one thing. Awesome. I totally used to be the same way. And she also says, yeah, like in live videos, it's really, really difficult to just shut up. I know we're both Libras, and that was something that I've struggled with for a really long time. One thing that really helped me to simplify is knowing that, I could go back on again tomorrow and finish the idea or include another thing that I wanted to go over. But you're really allowing people to digest things better and actually change their lives when you give them small snippets and not just everything at once. I mean, how do you feel when you get like all this information at once? All the information I'm giving you today is a lot of information. But again, it's a really tiny sliver of this whole idea that I'm teaching with video branding. And so it's offering little bits at a time. And also, if you offer little bits at a time, you give your best, you also give the viewer on the other side an idea of like, what more is there to come? There's so much more. And there's so much more to what I'm teaching you guys today too. So let's get on with more of the offering here. Well, perfection causes disconnection. And my coach, Maria Andros, says this, which is so true. And it really shifted everything for me when it came to sharing my message online. I always felt like I needed to be perfect with what I said. I needed to sound like an expert. I really resisted to sharing a lot of my struggles when it came to making video because, especially if you're teaching being an influencer or doing something that's growing your social media following, like I didn't want to admit that no one commented on my videos. I didn't want to admit that for years I had no viewers or views. But by sharing those parts of your message, you really allow people to get, put you on the human level, which is what you are. You're a human, and that causes connection. Perfection actually causes the disconnection. So you don't want to be perfect. You want to share your mess, including the production of it. I really want to throw that in there just because, again, like we all consume pretty high quality content, but at the end of the day, it's not all of like how crisp and clear a video is. It's the message that's in there. And if the message is not intentional or crafted or connects by sharing, again, like your personal aspect of it, then the video is not going to go anywhere, and you're not going to be able to end up working with that person. Awesome. I love all these comments, and it's so true. So thank you for sharing all of this. It really, we are here to support each other. We all have similar intentions. And again, there's no cap on success. I want everyone on this webinar to be so successful in everything that they do, because I believe that there's so much abundance when it comes to success. Like just because, I experienced success or someone else experiences success, that doesn't mean that there's less success for you out there. There's even more. So again, these are some videos that I really put myself out there and for me was really sharing a lot of my mess, or being vulnerable and sharing things I didn't want to share in the first place. One of them here is, I tried Instagram Live. Amelia was talking about how she tried Facebook Live, and, she was struggling with how she couldn't shut up. For me, I tried Instagram Live, and I literally felt like I was like blabbing on, and I kind of felt like I was an amateur, and I was like, I'm teaching video branding, but I have no idea what I'm doing here. We're all constantly learning new things. So, there's nothing to hide when it comes to that. If you are putting yourself on a platform of expert and of professional, there's room to fall. I don't know about you, but I don't want to put myself on a platform, because I'd rather fall from a shorter distance than putting myself up high. And the way that you do that is really being vulnerable and sharing what it is that you're experiencing right now. Another thing here is, I wrote here, I used to work so hard, and I used to get so burnt out because no one commented on my videos. I didn't want to share this for a really long time, because I was like, no one wants to hear from a coach who said that no one commented on her videos. But everyone wants to hear that, because everyone starts somewhere. We all start with 0 views. We all start with 0 comments. And, some people's journey is longer than others. Honestly, I think my journey of 0 comments and 0 views is pretty long. But again, it's all relative. I will say for years, I got 0 comments, zero views. But again, you're on this webinar, you're learning. And these are all actionable things that I want to challenge you guys and invite you guys to start doing now. So here is the second mind shift. So video, the fear mindset here is that video takes energy. It's emotional, it's physical, it's mental, and it's energy that I don't have. This is the mindset that I was in for a really long time that kept me from not creating. So Anna also says here, sorry, I'm going to just read some of these comments because I think that they're applicable here. Yes, Anna says there is enough success for everyone. And that's so true. I'm so glad that you guys are, receiving that. Oh, and she also says that she feels vlogging is oversaturated. I have to disagree with that. I know that there's a lot of vloggers out there, but the beautiful thing about vlogging is that it really is showing your personality and how you're different, in your individual perspective on things. And when it comes down to sharing your unique perspective, no one else can compete with that, because no one else is exactly like you. And I think that people are actually more interested in vlogging today than ever, watching vlogs, because people, and that's the reason why live is so big too, is because people actually want to see that raw side of how people live their lives, how people are, how do they get fit, or how do they eat? What is their real routine versus, a how-to tutorial. This is how you get healthy. People want to know your personal way of doing things. And that's why I love vlogging. And I actually think vlogging is your biggest opportunity. So let me know what you think about that. I'm going to move on again to this mind shift from fear to funds. Again, I used to tell myself that video takes a lot of energy. I mean, I still tell myself this because I spend a lot of time and energy and money into my videos. But instead of focusing on the energy that I don't have, I really meditate on this. Video is my biggest opportunity to show up and to serve the most people possible. I put expand here because anytime you do video, you really do expand. It's a lot of times really uncomfortable, and you have to make that decision. It's the biggest personal self-growth journey that I've been on. So you have an opportunity to expand and also really get honest. When you're in front of a camera, you can't, there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide from your viewers, and there's nowhere to hide from yourself. So again, really getting honest with yourself. This is an opportunity for you to get honest and get creative with who you are and really craft, who are you? you know, outside of what you feel like you might need to be in the world, or the way that you feel people see you. Like, video is your opportunity to really craft that and become the person who you want to be. So this has really been my personal journey with video. I see myself, and who I've really become today has been because I've seen myself in video in the playback, and I was like, you know what? That is not who I am. I want to be this person. I want to be a person of integrity. I want to be a person of confidence. I want to be a spiritual messenger. There's so many different things that I told myself I wanted to become based off of what I was seeing in the playback. So let me know, is this a fear mindset that you have now and that you want to work on? And how can you start applying this? Do you guys meditate? Let me know what your practice is, and again, how I can help you and support you in this way. So the video mistake number 3 here is leaving the viewer without a chance to take real action every single time. And I point out here every single time because I didn't used to do it every single time, and I would just kind of wiggle my way out of doing it every single time, you know, like, oh, I don't need to have a call to action in this video, like it's just a Facebook Live or it's just a Instagram Live. Like, people don't want to hear me say follow me, or they don't want to hear me say, you know, come to my workshop. That's just too much. But really where that stems from is not understanding either what you're offering, or it's not understanding your value. And I believe that everyone has an offering and everyone has a lot of value. So it really is about getting clear on what it is you're offering and getting really excited about it and stoked. It doesn't need to mean a coaching program. It doesn't even need to mean, a product. Eventually it could get there. What's most important is that it's real and it's something that you are truly passionate about. And so if that is growing your community, because you're investing so much time making these videos, you want to be excited about what it is that you're offering. And your offering is your insight. Your offering is your service and then working with you. So again, getting excited about what your offering is, and then knowing the value of what it is that you are offering. So realign whatever that is. Another thing that really helps me here is understanding the why. Some ways to call to action. And again, this has really helped me organize my thoughts around how to get people to engage with me. There's so many different ways to call to action, but really this is how you're going to calculate how successful your videos are, instead of just counting the views and stuff. There's a lot of other ways to get results that you want. And these are the different ways to call people to action. Okay. So the first one here is to call to engage. And you can say something like, let me know in the comments, ... Okay. So Jeff says, yeah. And you guys can hear me now. Thank you again so much for your patience, your love, and your support. I'm human and I have flaws, including my internet. So I just want to laugh about that for a second because it's, you just gotta laugh at the things that you're frustrated about sometimes. And right now I was really, really frustrated with my internet, because we all put in time and energy and we all are here. So I want it to go, smoothly, but it's okay. Things happen and we're here and we're near the end. And this is really the most important part of creating videos, and that I'm so passionate about, is the call to action. Because without a call to action, you're just creating videos for fun and you're eventually going to burn out. And I don't want anyone out there to burn out, because I know what it feels like. You end up stop making videos, and then you're like, oh, and then you lose your vision, and then it's like the investment of what you've already put into your videos just dissolves. And I don't want that for you. Like, and everyone out there has, the freedom to choose whatever they want in their life, but you're here watching this video because you actually want a change when it comes to your videos. You want to either, grow your community, you want to have creative fulfillment, and you want to make some money, because money really is the best way to sustain your creative fulfillment, to sustain your lifestyle. And, the love of money is not what I'm getting at here. It's really about the love of what you want to continue to do with your life, and money allows you to do that. So again, these are the calls to action. You want to call to engage. You want to call to survey. You can say, like, how can I help you? Because the more you know about how to serve other people, that's really when you're going to be able to create offerings that actually make money and that actually excite you. So another call is a call to stay connected. Like, make sure you sign up to get the latest updates. And again, if you have trouble asking people to stay connected or to engage, it really is, it's an internal thing that you just need to practice, and you need to work on, because again, it comes from knowing what your offering is and knowing that you're of value. So if you struggle with saying, make sure you sign up for the latest updates, I know I used to struggle with that. And the reason why I used to struggle saying it was because I didn't know what I was going to be giving them. I didn't know, like, when I was going to write my next email. I didn't know, like, what I was, what kind of insight I was going to be giving in my next video. But when you know what it is, and when you plan ahead, like, hey, like, for real, like, sign up for these updates because I know what they are, then you have more confidence. And so that's where the confidence comes from. It doesn't come from, practicing your power moves and, like, putting on makeup that day. Confidence comes from really understanding what you're offering and knowing what that value is. And everyone, again, has something to offer and has value. So again, awesome. Amelia's still here. Yay. I'm so happy. I love everyone on this call so much. And it really, like, just fills my heart with so much joy, because you guys bring me energy, and this is why I'm here on a Saturday morning sharing this stuff. It's because I love you guys so much, and I know that this stuff is really going to change your life, because it changed mine. And so again, call to inspire. You want to ask people, if you want to ask people to share your video with a friend, who it might help, ask them. That's a way to call them to inspire. And then lastly here, this is the most important way that you can call someone into action, is what I call to transform. And so this is stuff like, join me for my workshop or program, or buy this product. Again, people are not going to change their life if they just watch your video. They're going to have the knowledge, like, it's going to, like, all of you guys are going to leave today, have the knowledge of this. But the only way that you're really going to transform and actually get results and change is if you take that to the next level and put it into action in your life. And that's the reason why I'm asking you guys, all these questions. It's like, how are you going to do this? Because at the end of the day, like, I'm going to leave this call, I'm going to continue what I'm doing, but I want you to be able to make those changes in real action instead of just knowing it. There's a difference between knowing something and then practicing it. So again, calling them to transform is an invitation. It's like, yo, like, watch my video. That's great. That's awesome. But if you really want to change, if you really want to implement this, and you want that shortcut of working with someone who's an expert, like, work with me, or if you have, like, some sort of course or product, that's really how they're going to be able to take it to the next level, instead of just, watching that one video. So here is the last shift from fear-based thinking to actually the funds-based thinking here. And again, this has to do with money because money is a really big part of your life. Whether We know it or admit it or not, money is what sustains our living. It's a huge part of our dharma. You know, you have to, we all have purpose, but we can't continue to live our purpose if we don't have money. So again, the fear-based thinking here is that money just requires money that I don't have. Sorry, did I say money requires money? I meant video. Video requires money that I don't have. You know, video requires education, it requires support, it requires my camera, technology. Like, you can literally come up with, you know, endless things that, you know, video, you could spend money on video. And the reason why I know is because I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on video myself. And so I kept telling myself this, like, oh, like, I need a new camera and that requires money, or oh, I need to pay for this like webinar or invest in this webinar platform and I don't have that money. The underlying thing is we all buy things that we don't have the money for because we know that we need it and we know that it's going to change our life, and we find the way to make that money happen. And I know because I've done it time and time again. One of my first online courses that I took was like over 2 years ago, and I was out of a job. I didn't have any money, and I maxed out my credit card and borrowed money from my family just to put down a deposit for this online course that was over $2,000. And at the time it felt really uncomfortable, and I was like shaking when I was like putting in my credit card information. And a lot of people would say like, that's really irresponsible. But you know what? The difference between buying something and spending irresponsibly and what I did there was I had the confidence in myself and I trusted myself that this was an investment and that I wasn't going to mess around with this investment, and it was what I needed in order to actually make a change in my life. So I did it. And since then I've done it time and time again, and it's always going to feel uncomfortable, but one thing that I can guarantee you is that when you invest in yourself, no one can take that back from you, and you will get your return on investment, because it really is all up to you. It's all up to you. Anytime you invest in yourself, you have the power and the control to get back whatever you want. And since these investments, I've made that money back, sevenfold. So again, selling is not something that you do to someone. You're not like, I'm doing it to, you're doing it for them. And that's when selling actually becomes really exciting. And asking people to come to action gets really exciting, because you actually believe in what it is that you're offering, and you know that it's of major value. So this whole quote just really sums up where my passion comes from. It sums up my success, really, because again, when you know what it is that you're offering, whether it's something, we all start off basic. That's the best way to start. When I first started off, I had this huge idea of what I wanted to offer, and I kept going in circles because it was something that I didn't even understand the value of, so I had to simplify it. I always encourage people to simplify their offerings in the beginning, because when you have something that is simple, it's easier for you to really, first of all, state it, and then second of all, believe in it and understand its value. So again, offering it for someone changes everything when it comes to making money and selling who you are as a person. So I've spent countless hours learning emotional and physical energy into testing what works, and just experimenting and crying and like all of this stuff. I've also spent tens of thousands of dollars on learning video and getting mentored and buying cameras and editing software. And this is over the course of the last 8 years, but really mostly over the last 4 years. But I don't believe that needs to be you. And I don't want that to be you, because, I want to save you that time, money, and energy by inviting you to just copy whatever I do. And the reason why I say copy me is because this is what I did. Like, that's where all of my a lot of my learning and my energy went into it. Where it started was I found content creators, influencers, coaches that I knew were doing it right, and I wanted to take, you know, elements of what they're doing. And so when you take from so many different sources and copy from many sources, that is that's not stealing, that's reinventing, and that's creating something original for yourself. It's only copying and stealing, or stealing. It's only stealing when it's not done with integrity and when you steal something from just one person. But if you are collecting and copying from lots of different people, then that is really when you create something unique. And so I would be honored if you would copy me, if you like what you hear here, if you feel like it's useful, you know, take whatever it is that's useful for you and apply it in your life. So I'm going to ask you guys out there, what is the most useful thing, one thing that you are going to start implementing as soon as you can? There's so many different things we talked about here, but I want to know in the chat box, what is the most valuable thing that you've learned so far in this webinar that you know that you want to start implementing? And if it feels like a lot for you, then choose the most basic thing that maybe you've heard before, but now you're going to start implementing in your life moving forward when it comes to creating videos. Cool. So I just wrote in the chat box there. I'm just going to give it some time because I really want you guys to let some of this stuff sink in. I know that I talk really fast, and it's because I'm a Libra and I also move fast. So cool. Amelia says shifting to a service mindset. You know, if you're just putting stuff out there for you and that's why you're feeling uncomfortable. Yes, that's awesome. It's so true. And Amelia, I just have to say, like, I learned service from you. You are one of the most, you are like the most giving person I know. For those of you on the call too, Amelia, I met her on Instagram. So we're, you know, internet friends, as are a lot of people on this call actually. And she is just, I mean, she's just like so giving of everything. Like I learned a lot of graciousness from her. And so I know that every single person on this call is super gracious as well. It's just about practicing that mindset. A lot of people have to learn graciousness. And I mean, I feel like I'm always learning it, you know, to expand on that level. But the beautiful thing is, like, it really isn't I feel like everyone on this call, it's not about learning how to serve. It's about really practicing that mindset that that's actually what you're doing, because you are already doing it. You are already implementing it. It's just a matter of practicing the mindset of that's actually what you're in. And I think that's beautiful, because again, as like a heart-centered entrepreneur and visionary, I think a lot of times we forget that there are actually people out there who aren't heart-centered, who don't serve with integrity, and who are really just out there for you know, to make money and to be, I'm just going to say it, selfish. And I think we're all really awakening to the fact that not everyone is like us. And that is the reason why we need to stand in what we're doing, because if we don't stand in what we're doing, then someone else's vision is going to take that place. And, you know, like, everyone today is like kind of turning into like their own version of like a political expert. And it really stems from this idea that when you don't speak whatever it is you believe in and how you envision the future to be, then someone else's vision is going to take that place. So that's the reason why, you know, we're not just messing around here with like, you know, creating businesses that change the world. We are effing changing the world. And it is important. our work is important. It's not for fun. We really, really, really have a responsibility, and I'm so grateful that everyone that I get to work with has that same vision. So again, let me know here, what is most valuable for you that you're walking away with on this call. I want to know how I can better serve you, and if you have any questions. So I also want to invite you to work with me one-on-one. A lot of you know about my program already, but I really want to break it down for you so that you can decide whether this is like a real fit for you. And if you're ready for a really big change in your life when it comes to making videos and in your business, in your brand. So again, I want to invite you to work with me one-on-one. And this program is really for people who've made videos before, but it feels like swinging at a piñata. Again, you never really know what's going to, hit it big or what you're going to get back from it. You're just kind of creating videos, but you don't really know what it is that you're doing. Or maybe you do know, but you want more strategy. So this program is also for people who are ready to make money and really ready to invest the time, money, and energy that it takes to get results. You want to learn how to do video consistently, and not just pour all your time into one video and then, crickets because you've hit like this comparisitis condition and you don't want to create any more videos, or you're burnt out. There's so many reasons behind inconsistency, but really this is like, we're going to go deep and learn how to do it consistently. It takes a lot of inner work, and it's not just about editing. This program's also for people who want to learn more about their brand and how to convey it by speaking. And if you feel unsure about yourself, this program's for you, because we're going to be going over that. This is also for people who are working long hours editing footage, or maybe you're not even working long hours editing footage, but you just don't want to edit footage. And the footage that you do have just doesn't inspire you. So you wonder, like, how is this supposed to inspire others? We're going to be going over how to create inspirational content and speak to the right people. This program is also for people who want a strategic approach to your messaging, and how to create it, and what platforms to share it on. This is for people who are not technical. I guess I'm technical now, but I have a really hard time considering myself technical, just because I'm always learning. So I like to share things like in a non-technical language. It took me forever to learn the basics of cameras because I was so overwhelmed by the technology and the way that people were explaining it to me. So I really explain things like a basic bish, because that's what I am when it comes to cameras. So this program is not for everyone, and I'm okay with that. Because I feel like when it's not for everyone, then the people who are in it really get exactly what they need. And we get to focus on that. So this program is not for people who want a quick fix and are just not willing to put in the time, money, or energy to get results. And it's okay. If that's not you, there was definitely a time in my life where I was not willing to put that time, money, and energy. I was just like, I'm okay where I am. But then it got really, really painful. I didn't want to be there anymore. So this program is also not for people who believe they're limited to what they can learn in the program. I used to be a know-it-all. I used to be like, I know that. I don't need to learn that. I know that. And I took the word I know out of my vocabulary because I was like, that I saw how much it limited me from growing, because I was like, I know that. I don't need to learn that. So when you take out that word no, I know, so much can come into your life. And so people who have this know-it-all mentality, this program's not for you, because we're going to be going over foundational stuff, but we're also going to be going into really advanced stuff. So this program is also not for those living in integrity, those not living in integrity with their business. And so they also are not living in integrity with how they serve others. And they're just, looking to grow an immediate social following versus actually offer real value to their viewers. Again, I'm learning here too. Integrity means different things to different people. And so I'm really understanding of what that, what this looks like for different people. And I do feel like there is a learning curve and always an opportunity to be more integral in your business and in your offering and serving others. And so, this could really just be that you need more direction on what it is that you're offering and understanding the value so that you are living in integrity with your business and you are living in integrity with serving others and offering real value. Cool. So Anna says here, I teach people something. Yes, I love it when I teach people something. I always take it from the approach of someone who's 5 years old. I love that. That's awesome. No, that's so true. Like I love being spoken to in a simple manner because, I don't know everything about what someone else is teaching me. That's the reason why I'm there to learn it, is because I don't actually know it. So again, that's my teaching style too. This program is also not for people who are not open to the possibilities of feeling silly, embarrassed, and I'm going to put in challenged there. Not open to being challenged in order to grow. The coach that I have developed into and that I'm developing into is really like no bullshit coach. And the reason why is because I'm so honored to have been coached by people who have really taken a stand for me, even when it was really uncomfortable, even when, I could have had the opportunity to be really upset at this coach or hold them, hold a grudge against them because of something they said. But I will always take a stand for what I believe you are capable of. And a lot of times it might make you feel silly or embarrassed or challenged, but the intention there is always in order for you to grow. And so this program is not for people who aren't willing to go there. People who take things personally. This is not this is personal, but I'm really here to lend you the lens of what is possible for you. And the reason why is because it's really difficult to see yourself from yourself, right? That's the beauty of having a coach, is that they get to show you what you really need to see in order to change. So this program is for people who are coachable, and willing to receive in whatever capacity that might be. Lastly, again, this is not for people who are not willing to and open to the idea of making a lot of money. I know that sounds ridiculous, but the truth is not all of us are ready to make a lot of money. And we're going to be going, breaking down blocks and understanding our blueprint of what our relationships are with money. But just know that that's something that is going to be addressed. And it's for people who are ready to expand in that capacity.